A major change is about to take place in the Indian Armed Forces as finally, after years of discussion, there are concrete news reports that the Indian Army, the Indian Navy, and the Indian Air Force, all three services are now moving to a tri-service command structure in which one single commander will control all land, sea, and naval assets in a particular area jurisdiction, which will make it better for interoperability and better performance in operation. All right, so we have this report from the print wherein the it has been concretely reported that the Western theatre against Pakistan will be headed by the Indian Air Force, which is very surprising considering that this front has traditionally been very Pakistan centric. So that means that the doctrine is now moving towards the fact of precision, rapid strikes, and rapid de-escalation, because Pakistan is very unpredictable in the fact of its using of nuclear weapons. It can definitely use nuclear weapons if a large scale ground operation is taken place. So to give this theater to the Indian Air Force signals that the main focus is rapid destruction of terrorist and Pakistani infrastructure capabilities, while the northern theater under the army to focus on China, that is where the salami slicing tactics of China are going to be countered, because China focuses on slowly grabbing some sort of land rather than going ahead for an immediate rapid invasion force. So there's also another report by the same report by the print that the military will also get a vice chief of defense staff who will also be a 4-star officer along with the theatre commanders, the chief of defense staff, and the service chiefs. Now I don't exactly understand this arrangement. Maybe that is because so that the CDS post is not entirely army dominated, but I think that if the 4-star position is also going to be a vice CDS and also going to be a CDS, that may cause some sort of command friction or some sort of seniority problems in the forces. I am not sure. This is just something that I understand about this thing. So maybe I think that the CDS should be a 5-star rank, but again, the 5-star ranks are only given in case of some good performance. I like distinguished performance in wartime scenarios, but maybe the 5-star ranks could be institutionalized, but having 5 4-star officers would definitely make up for a lot of confusion. Anyway, so there are also been like multiple top table exercises are being held regularly with multiple scenarios in play and responses to. Sources in the defense and security establishment told the print that the Western theatre focused on Pakistan will be headed by an Air Force officer, while the Northern theatre focused on China will be headed by an Army officer. The Maritime theatre command will be headed by a Navy officer. So this is not going to be like the Andaman and Nicobar command, wherein every 2 years the positions are swapped in between the forces, where one day where 1.5 years it is an army commander, then the other 1.5 years there's an Air Force commander, and the other 1.5 years there's a Navy commander. This is likely like they're going to be fixing. So as they have said, these positions are more or less fixed, and there is unlikely to be any rotation, unlike the earlier plan featured rotation. That means the Pakistan theatre will now solely be focused on air power centric combat, because see, air power in the Himalayas is not something to be taken casually. Even China, despite having all the 5th generation stealth fighters and everything, that is definitely an advantage on their sides. But they won't use it either, because in the cold air, when you fly 5th generation fighters, it is going to be very easy to use infrared search and track to detect all those 5th generation stealth fighters. Granted, you won't get a fire quality lock just with an IRST, but using the kill chain of VHF and UHF radars, having AWACS, having brute force fighter based radars, and also using infrared search and track systems, the stealth advantage of China is more or less negated, and that is like people do not understand this fact. They just directly focus on platforms, but that is exactly how this all is going to work. I'm going to make a separate video on how the IAF plans to counter the stealth until the AMCA is set to arrive. But this is a very interesting thing. So as I said, army being more China focused is very important, because China army has modernized very well. The equipment of troops has also modernized very well. I have seen in a lot of exercises that they are now having the night vision sets, they're having good ballistic armor and ballistic helmet sets. So that is a very good thing, and the drone infrastructure in the army has been really improved in the past 2 years, and we have seen how the performance of that was in Operation Sindoor. So more or less, this is a very and then there's another report that air headquarters will control the strategic aerial assets. So this was the main problem in having theaterization previously. Earlier, this was the problem that was that the forces were facing in regards of the theaterization process, and that is what made it very slow. So, in a sense, I feel that this is a very good initiative that has finally moved towards fruition, because this was very long due. The US is already operating on a tri service on multi service basis. They have 6 services, so they're already operating on a 6 service basis for the past 30-35 years, and China has also been operating on a theater level since the past 10-15 years. So we are late to the party, but honestly, this after Operation Sindoor, I think there's been a lot of developments that are going on in the armed forces. And please excuse my lighting for today, because I am sitting on my work desk today, like on the desk where I edit. I have a very good video regarding the Su-30 MKI incoming by Saturday. So that is what I was working on, and that's why I just recorded it in here rather than recording on the back desk that where I usually record. So that is all I have to say, and let me know your opinions down in the comment section. And thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you all in the next video.